Well, welcome back to Scouting for History. I'm shooting an intro near the end of the day. I wasn't planning on filming. I wasn't even planning on coming here. When I was here at this 1805 farm before, I found a dog tag, completely forgot about it. So I swung back around and gave it to the lady, and we talked for like 20 minutes about dogs. And, you know, she was so squirrely about people detecting, because the people who had been here before were just very pushy. But after 20 minutes of talking about dogs, she said, hey, come on back anytime you want. Look around. So I'm back. I didn't think I'd find anything, but I did. Stay tuned. And the first signal of the day, the clad quarter. On to something better. And now another buckle. I've only gone a couple of feet and I've had 6 targets. All of them, I mean, none of them trash. None of them spectacular, but let's see if it keeps up. On we go. And a bouncy, squirrely signal. It was awful. It turns out it's a large set. Awesome. I'll clean it up. You'll see it right here. There's still old stuff here. On to the next. Well, and that signal was squirrely because down in the hole was something else. It's razor thin. I can see letters around the edge. I am praying that that's my first ever 1 real. I've never found one. Everyone finds them, but I've never found one. I'll clean it up a little better at home. I poured the water on it. I never do that in the field, but I was so excited. On to the next. Let's see. So back in colonial days, coins were scarce. Copper coins, but especially silver coins. So they would circulate. They'd be used until they were worn smooth and razor thin. As long as they possibly could, just because there weren't enough to go around. And that's why when people do find silver coins from that time period, there's not much detail on them. And this is my first real ever. So happy to get it. And I can positively ID it. There's not a whole lot of detail on here. Back in the 1700s, the Spanish real was called the globe and pillars, because on the back of the coin was a globe with 2 pillars, and the 2 pillars were to represent the old world and the new world of the Spanish Empire. And above the pillars was the Latin motto Utraque unum, which means together one, or both one, and it meant to signify that the old world and the new world were all part of Spain. It's just one big empire. And they only made coins with that motto from the early 1700s up until about 1770. And on this coin, I can just barely make out the word unum right here in a better photograph. So I know that this is a 1 real coin from the mid 1700s. I can't see a date, unfortunately, but this is my very first real. I'm very happy to have it. On to the next. And I'm not sure what it is, but it certainly looks old. I'll clean it up. If I can tell anything about it, you'll see it right here. On to the next. And that was a really weird signal. For anyone who ever finds a 1966 Bahamas quarter, they ring really low. It's made out of nickel. It's made out of nickel, so it's it'll be magnetic, I believe. That's why it cleans up so well. Pure nickel. On to the next. I'm not sure whether it was a toy or some kind of tool, but it's old. It's definitely old. Very heavy. On to the next. Well, another really squirrely signal. It's shiny. It's paper thin. I'll turn the camera on for this one. Oh. It's another slick silver coin. I'll clean that one again too. I'll wait till I get home for this one. Outstanding. Outstanding. So that was an awful signal. Bouncy all over the place. But it just goes to show you got to dig everything. You never know what it is. There might be something else in the hole. So let me scan again. If there is, I'll bring it back out. Well, I'd never found a real before. Now, I just found one a few minutes ago, and now I have a second. And again, this one is worn completely smooth, or almost completely smooth, and I can make out one word, same on this one. I can make out one word on this coin, and that's Rex. Now, Rex is Latin for king, and it only appears after the globe and pillars coin. A lot of the older reals, the globe and pillars especially, usually it has the abbreviation HISP et Ind DGR, and that stands for Hispanum et India Dei Gratia Rex, which means King of Spain and the Indies by the grace of God. So all the coins before 1771 just had the letter R to represent Rex. After 1771, all of them had the word spelled out, Rex. This one, the only word I can see clearly on it is Rex. So I know that this is a real from after 1771. My second real, 2 reals in one day. What a day. On to the next. And now a nice relic, a piece of a suspender clip. Awesome. So I think the people who detected here before must have had machines that have a coin setting. Like I know Garrett has a coin setting. That's the machine I started with. And the NoktaMakro doesn't have a coin setting. So you can notch things out, but because it's made overseas, there is no coin setting because every country's coins sound different. So because of that, I'm finding things that don't ring up like coins. But if all you use is coin setting, well, you might get some coins, but you're not going to get anything else, including interesting things like those 2 reals that I found. I think they're reals. We'll see. On to the next. Shotgun. And that's why you dig carefully. On to the next. Now, if I could only find the key that went with this. That thing's enormous. That's awesome. On to the next. And just like every old house, pieces of a harmonica. Now, harmonicas aren't really all that old. They weren't invented until about the mid 1800s. So the house is definitely older than this. So on to the next. Well, it's probably a big piece of
machinery, or a big piece of brass, but it's ringing up like a silver quarter or a silver $half. So just in the off chance that it's something actually good, but instead it's that bunch of wires. Alright, on to the next. And another one for the day. Down here by the weeds. Outstanding. Oh no. That's a Kennedy $half. I was going to say Liberty looks a little funny. It's a Kennedy $half clad. Ugh. Oh well, it's 50 cents. On to the next. Not sure what it is. Some kind of a small tag hung by a wire. I'll clean up, see if there's anything on it. On to the next. Donut. Big iron donut. On to the next. And sometimes those screaming sounds are really good. That's my first Conestoga bell. Awesome. I wonder if the clapper is still in it. Probably not. The clappers were usually made out of iron, so probably all rusted away. Yep, it's all gone, but it's complete. That's awesome. I scraped it a little bit trying to get it out of the ground. Look at the impression. Awesome. That's what a great day. Only a few finds, but outstanding finds. All right, on to the next.
And this was a farm back in the going back to the early 1800s. So finding a bell isn't unusual, because bells used to be attached to the horse teams, just to let other carriages and other horse riders know that a horse was coming, or pedestrians on the street, especially in the dark or in the snow or whatever. But to find a bell intact is unusual. Now the clapper is gone, it's iron, but usually when these broke at the top and fell off of the horse or off of the wagon, they would get driven over or stepped on by the horses, and it's just tomback material. It's very, very brittle, very fragile. I love ringing that bell. It's very brittle, very fragile, and they would just break. And that's why people find so many broken crotal bells, broken sleigh bells, broken Conestoga bells, or I'm not sure that this is actually a Conestoga bell. That was a very specific kind of bell. It's called an open face bell, just open at the bottom, rather than a ball like a crotal bell kind of thing. It's just an open face bell. Cool, awesome find. And that, even though I never found reals before, and I found 2 today, this is my favorite find, just because it's in such awesome condition and complete. On to the next.
Well, that's going to do it for today's hunt. What a great day. Not very long, but some good finds. See you on the next one.